When the magpies top the torrents here, the manor stands forever. The torrents and the burns are one, their fate is bound together. These magpies watch us all below, but should they choose to fly, they take good fortune when and so. Beware, the time is nigh, aye, beware, the time is nigh.
Whatever is wrong with the magpies today, Mac?
Maybe they're thinking up the wrongful heir to the magpie manor, my lord.
How dare you! The manor is rightfully mine.
Have you forgotten your cousin Percy, your uncle's long lost son and heir?
But Percy was disgraced during the war. 1917, wasn't it? He was then declared missing, presumed dead. He's never been heard of since. Broke his father's heart.
And anyway, what do the magpies know about the laws of inheritance, may I ask?
Never ever met the magpies, my lord. Learn to respect him like your old uncle did. God rest his soul.
Respect them? They're birds. What utter nonsense. It's the 1920s, you know, not the Middle Ages.
Steady on, or be.
Remember the legend.
Aye, my lady, remember the legend. If the magpies leave the manor, the magpie manor's doomed.
The manor's doomed anyway, according to the bank manager. What's to be done, my dear?
Gather the clan. We need a plan. So, the clan is gathered, but as usual, we're waiting for fashioning the late daughters. Good morning, everyone.
Ooh, don't you look gloomy? You look as though someone pinched the family silver.
Cheer up. Look at all this lovely space. Let's dance.
Good idea!
Stop, everyone. We must be serious. Listen to your father.
Magpie Manor's in grave financial trouble. Mr. Fortune has come to tell us about his plan to save the manor.
Good morning, everyone. I'm honoured to be here. I'm sure you've heard that I've taken over the bank from Mr. Deed of Done Dark indeed. So tragic about his little accident. So, let's get on. Where are my assistants?
Here, Mr. Fortune!
He's Scribble and he's Bart.
What do we do? Not a lot.
Sorry, Lord Picket, I fear their days are numbered.
Mine's number 8. Remember number 8, your time is up.
Moving on.
Let my family introduce themselves, Mr. Fortune. Here are my daughters.
I'm Nimmy and I simply adore the Charleston.
I'm Fifi the Flapper Girl.
I'm Trixie and I love Dixie.
I'm Minty, Queen of the Cocktail Scene.
I'm Bubbles, Boo Booby too.
Boo booby do to you too.
What are they saying? What's going on?
Who's that? It's our grandmama.
She's stuck in the last century.
She's pretty old
She's pretty deaf.
and pretty dotty. Ah, dear Mama, come and meet Mr. Fortune. He's come to help us. Help us? Do I know you? You can take some of these girls off our hands. If you're looking to marry for money, though, you're in the wrong place. No, Mama, you've got the wrong end of the stick. No, I always hold it this way. Where's my daughter Letty's? In the sandwiches? Nah, it'll be cucumber all the way here. Remember your manners at the manor block. So little finger up, load your cup, take us up.
Good morning, Mr. Fortune. Bunny's here too.
Chuck him a carrot blot. I think he prefers lettuce. He's already got lettuce.
War is the name, but you can call me Bunny. These are my 2 daughters. As you can see, we're tad short of sons and heirs.
I'm Hyacinth, Mr. Fortune, but you can call me Hi.
Hi!
I'm Lobelia, but you can call me Lo.
Hello! Give the vote to all women, we say.
Can we count on your support for the women's rights, Mr. Fortune?
And nor the place for any of this nonsense.
Really, Father? Women have the right to be heard. I bet you wouldn't stop us from having opinions if we were your sons.
Calm down and get off your high horse, dear.
I'll put down from the horse blot. I can't. She's too high. No, that one's low, you twip. Sort him out. I'll fetch him a cecil scribble.
That'll sort him out.
As it is, mind you don't trip over your feather boa. It's cousin Rupert.
Who's he talking to?
Young Rupert, did you say? With a woman?
It's Honey the Vine, the movie star!
Hello, everyone. This is Honey Divine, the movie star.
We know!
Happy, I've planned a special moment to share with you all. Oh, Rupert, of course
I'll marry you. Hello, everybody. Who would have thought that little old me would marry into the English aristocracy, living in a castle in a moat and all? Lady Honey has a certain ring to it, don't you think? Just wait till I tell the folks back home.
Oh dear, it sounds to me as though young Ripper's been elevated in a position of somewhat.
Oh my, no title. How disappointing. I never said.
Although we are delighted to meet you, Mr. Vine, I am afraid we have to get on with some business in hand. Mr. Fortune, how are we going to save Magpie Manor from going to rack and ruin?
Oh my, rack and ruin and no title. How disappointing.
This is a situation after standing here since the 15th century.
Wow, is he that old? Don't know, mate, but he's certainly going to rack and ruin.
Magpie Manor is in danger of falling down. Action must be taken. We need £30,000. Remaining family asset, namely the Pika solid silver pitcher with the Magpie pitcher, must be sold.
Not the Pika solid silver pitcher with the Magpie pitcher.
Wait, what's a pitcher? A joggy banana?
Oh my, selling the family silver, rack and ruin and no title. How disappointing.
Bill and Blot here will read the plans of action.
Action 1. Organise a grand auction ball here at Magpie Manor. Action 2. Draw up a list of wealthy guests. Action 3. Auction off the old jug. The Pika solid silver pitcher with the Magpie pitcher.
Which I'm glad to say is worth around £30,000.
That's handy!
Please continue, Blot.
Action 4. Take out the Pika solid silver pitcher with the Magpie pitcher out of the vault for our squeaky clean. Action 5. Arrange for an auctioneer to oversee the sale.
For Pika, I recommend Ivor Gavel. He's going for a song.
Action 6. Arrange for extra security.
Lord Pika, I've already taken the liberty of asking Inspector Spectre of the Yard to attend. Or should I say ex-Inspector Spectre of the Yard?
Spectre of the Yard. Did he get pushed or has he retired? It doesn't matter, Bonnie. I'm sure Spectre will do the job splendidly. Either way, I bet you he's going cheap. Enough! The whole thing must run like clockwork. We must save the manor.
A real English ball attended by the rich and famous. I sure hope that won't be disappointing.
The time is nigh, the birds do fly. Mark my words, mark my words.
May I have your attention, please, everybody? There is to be a grand auction ball here at Magpie Manor, attended by the rich and famous. As butler, I will be in charge.
And there'll be extra work in the kitchen, no days off, Mr. Butchers.
Quite right, Mrs. Burney. The Pika solid silver pitcher of the Magpie pitcher will be sold to the highest bidder tonight at the auction after dinner.
And when they get out of the vault, I thought I would need a good clean use of a bit of elbow grease.
Well, if we're not getting time off, I'll have to practice me dance while I'm shine up. One day I'll be on stage, don't you now?
And Elsie, you'll have all the bedrooms to prepare for our visitors.
Oh, I'll still look forward to my day off. I've been walking out with Chin the milkman. We were going to the new tea rooms.
You're lucky to get time off at all, my girl. In my day, a housemaid went home on Mothering Sunday, and that was that.
But times are changing. I won't be a footman forever. So I'm off to seek my fortune in America. See if I can get a job on one of those big liners. More to the point, we've been needing extra vegetables and things from the garden, I suppose, Mrs. Burnett.
I will, Basil Bud.
Will these tops be ready meals, just Mr. Buttress? Any chance for extra wages for all this work?
Said Saddle, no one's got any money, even Lord and Lady Pika. That's what this auction is all about, raising money to save the manor.
What's the Pika thingamajig worth then, Mr. Buttress?
£30,000.
How much? Oh, think of what you could do with that.
Stand back. Here come the tradesmen with their deliveries. There'll be a lot of coming and going in the next few days. Everyone must pull their weight.
Bernie Black here with the coal. Half an extra as promised. Demo's here with the meat order. I've got extra truss and a big pork belly.
I thought he looked different.
Ernie turned Hilda Mills, Bernard. Hello, Ernie. Morning, Elsie.
Phil Pye here from the baker with a large tray of bloomers.
Ooh la la!
Let's get on. There is much to be done. By the way, tradesmen, When delivering to the manor, Lord Pika says, don't forget to salute the magpies.
Rightio!
Right, Plot, let's have a look at this list of guests. Who will bid for the Pika Sword Silver picture with the Magpie picture? I wonder. Oh, look! Charlie Chaplin from the movies. That's the chap with the funny walk. Then someone called Agatha Christie. Isn't she the one who writes the whodunits? Oh, you wouldn't know. You've never read a book before, have you? And you've never driven a car, have you? Sir Herbert Austin's next on the list. I bet he'll come in one of his new 7 motor cars. But who's this Albert Einstein bloke? Dunno. Some brainless toff, I expect. But we all know this one. The Princess of Wales. Swipe me. We're talking top toffs now. We might have to bow and curtsy. Backside with bow! Who else is there? That Winston Churchill fellow from the government what smokes them big fat cigars. But you can afford to. He's Chancellor of the Exchequer. So that's where all our money goes. But with these two, Captain Alcock and Lieutenant Brown. Not so clever after all, are you? They're the two that won loads of dosh from the Daily Mail for flying across the Atlantic. Watch it. Here comes old Fortune Cookie. Look busy.
I've come for the guest list. I hope all the invitations are ready for delivery.
Nearly finished, Mr. F. Just a bit of licking and sticking. And we'll be done and dusted.
I hate to tell you, but these two clowns are the very fellas that you wanted at security at the auction.
Pleased to meet you. I'm the auctioneer, Ivor Gavin.
So he has!
And I am Inspector Spectre in charge of security.
Spooky!
I beg your pardon.
To keep an eye on these two, Inspector Spectre, I find them very trying at times.
What do you mean, Mr. Fortune? We are always trying.
Then you will be expected to try even harder, particularly under the circumstances.
Circumstances?
You two were to guard the Pika solid silver picture with the magpie picture during the ball.
Then just before dinner, it will be ceremoniously unveiled for public viewing during by Lady Picker.
The future of Magpie Manor will be in your hands. We must be mad.
I will have my eyes on you at all times, and you will have your eyes on the valuable Pika solid silver picture with the magpie picture. Do you understand?
I don't think Scribble and Blot are the best people to guard the Pika solid silver picture with the magpie picture, old chap. What do you think?
Well, it's not a difficult job if you concentrate. It was ex-Inspector Spectre's idea and he's the expert.
I fear my two useless assistants will concentrate more on the dancing than the family silver.
I don't think we should put Rupert next to that divine woman at dinner tonight. He's making such a fool of himself.
She clearly thinks that she's marrying into aristocracy.
Couldn't we do anything to her, you know? Be warned, Pa. He asked me if I thought you might lend him a few thousand.
Some hope. With the way the stock market's going, I'll be asking him for the money.
Does that mean you can change your mind and let us got jobs and earn our own living?
Over my dead body, my girl. I'm sure that can be arranged.
Oh, Ernie, I'm so looking forward to our day off. We had such lovely plans.
And no good clients built little Elsie. I got even better plans for us today.
Oh, Ernie, do tell.
No need. It's all cheddar going here, Elsie. Watch me space.
Oh, Ernie, too, you're so clever.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm a milk man.
You seem a bit down in the mouth, Sid. What's up? Horses, mate, horses. Colleague is it? I'll come down the stables and have a look after I've collected all my empty sacks. And Dad hung with my old cart, especially when she gets the bellyache.
The horses in the stable are fine. It's the horses on the racetrack that are giving me the trouble.
You haven't back to lose again, have you? Betting's a buckskin, mate.
Don't I know it? Lost all my savings this time.
Oh, hello. Do I know you? You have a familiar look about you. Ah, yes, I remember now. You've come to take one of these girls off our hands, aren't you? Are you wealthy, may I ask?
Believe me, madam, I am neither wealthy nor am I suitable husband material for one of your gals here. You will want me at one of your future family feasts.
It's Inspector Spectre, Grandmama.
Then he's right, my girl. No one wants a spectre at the feast.
Really, Grandmama?
Quick, take her away.
Let's get these flowers in the water, Grandmama.
So sorry Inspector.
Poor old thing, she's quite dotty now.
Mr. Albert Einstein, Nobel Prize winner for physics, and Mrs. Elsa Einstein. Captain Alcock and Lieutenant Brown, the acclaimed prize-winning aviators. Mr. Winston Churchill, Chancellor of the Exchequer, and his wife, Mrs. Clementine Churchill. And finally, Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales. Good evening, madam, and you are?
Mrs. Agatha Christie, the writer.
Shall we wait for your husband?
Who? Archie? No, he's not coming. I'm doing research for my next whodunit. It's set in a castle just like this.
Mrs. Archibald Christie, the writer.
Hello everyone. How nice to be here. Do call me Agatha.
Pray silence for your host, Lord Peaker.
Your Royal Highness, lords, ladies and gentlemen, before I dine, I invite my wife, Lady Peaker, to unveil the Pika Pika soul silver picture of the Magpie picture.
Stand still. Everyone must stay exactly where they are. No one must move. Mr. Buttress, go and fetch your staff immediately. I need to start my investigation. Madam, what are you doing? I quite plainly ordered everyone to stay exactly where they were.
I'm doing the same as you, Inspector.
And what might that be?
Snooping, Inspector. Snooping and observing. By the way, I just love that tie that you're wearing. Quite the latest fashion.
Thank you, madam. How kind. I have them especially made, you know, Chinese silk.
You see, Inspector, your bark is much worse than your bite.
Don't underestimate me, my dear lady. Now, I have important work to do. Please listen to the results of my preliminary investigation and then expect your full cooperation. Point 1. The Pika Pika solid silver picture with the Magpie picture was last seen at this room at 4 o'clock when it was placed here beneath its velvet cover. Point 2. Scribble and Blot began guarding the picture at 4:15 p.m. This leaves 15 minutes unaccounted for. I will now ask each of you where you were at the time.
Well, those of us that are guests didn't arrive until 6 o'clock. That counts us out. Right, we'll go first, A Block. Ready, girls?
We're on the lawn, dancing up a storm. I was tidying the hall, ready for the ball.
I was really fretting because my jelly wasn't setting.
I was busy at the time, sampling the wine.
I was by the stable door, putting down fresh straw.
I was on the stairs, sweeping up all the hairs. I was near dead from making all the beds.
I was in a boat, clearing out the moat.
We were waiting on the drive to see the toffs arrive. We were at the tables checking the seating labels.
I was on my own, applying for a loan.
We were in town pinning posters all around.
I was on my bed painting my toenails red.
I was on the gravel talking to Ivor Gavel.
That can't be right, you see, for I was taking tea.
Lord Pica, you're next.
We were doing our best to get ready for our guests. And last but not least, tell me where you were, Inspector Spectre.
How dare you, madam? But since you ask, I was out the back talking to Magpie Mac.
But we only had words, then I went to check up on the birds.
Who did it? Who stole the picture? Who did it? The Pika picture. Who did it? Who is the criminal? Don't point the finger at me. Who done it? Who will they lock away? Who done it? Who will they nick today? Who done it? What will the paper say? Don't point the finger at me. Who did it? Who done it? Don't point the finger at me.
And what have we here, Basilwood?
Well, ma'am, like I said, I was in the boat clearing up the moat when I fished up these sacks.
Well, this one looks very old, and this one looks, very interesting.
That old sack's made of leather, I say, and look, it's got the family crest and magpies on it.
But this one looks a bit like one of Bernie Black's coal sacks. I hate to say, I'm taking it all to the inspector.
Well done, Basilwood. Since I am helping Inspector Spectre with his inquiries, let me take charge of this. You run along and have a well-deserved cup of tea.
Very well, ma'am.
Who done it then, Inspector? That Agatha Christie lady's on the case too. Why don't you compare notes with her? She must get some manage rights in the books.
She is nothing more than a meddling old woman. I intend to silence her in a moment. Call everyone back. I have further questions to ask.
Rightio, Inspector. Everybody, back!
I have an important announcement to make. My investigations are nearly done.
Inspector, just the man.
Madam, for the last time, I forbid you to speak.
Forbid me? Well, you can try. But I think that my words will soon be silencing you, Inspector. Or should I say, Percy Pica? Percy Pica? Our Percy Pica? Our long-lost cousin Percy Pica?
Percy was just great in 1917.
I knew he looked familiar. He is here, cunningly disguised as ex-inspector, Spectre of the Yard.
Liam, me fooled.
It's amazing what a touch of hair dye and a dose of arrogance can do. Let's try it, Blot. Might get a promotion.
Are you all going to listen to this woman? She's a writer of fiction. All she's doing is getting ideas for her next novel.
Yes, we are going to listen. Saddle, boot, stand very close to this spectre at the ball. If this is all true, we don't want him escaping arrest.
Oh dear, it's all very confusing. Please explain, Mrs. Christie.
This man is truly a long-lost relative, the heir to Magpie Manor. He was found guilty of spying in 1917, but before he could be punished, he conveniently disappeared. I imagine he's been protected by agencies abroad ever since.
How do you know all this, Mrs. Christie?
I swapped notebooks when he wasn't looking. There's been a very interesting read in your notebook, Inspector.
Excuse me, Mum, that's one of my coal sacks you have there. I knew I was one short after delivery.
Indeed it is, Mr. Black. You see, Basil would find it when he was clearing out the moat. I think that our so-called inspector will know that inside this sack we will find the Pika Pika solid silver pitcher with the Magpie picture.
And how, may I ask, can you prove this? You interfering
Elementary, my dear Spectre. It is fastened with one of your trademark ties. You know, the Chinese silk ones that are especially made for you.
May I, Luke?
That is my rightful inheritance. I was only taking back what's mine.
You gave up your right for anything when you were found spying. You absolute bounder.
But what about the leather sack? It is very heavy and has been in that moat for a long time, if you ask me. I have been looking at that and it looks remarkably old. It has the look of a medieval hoard. It's worth a fortune, I would think. Lord Picker, your troubles are over.
Indeed, my lord, this means that the Pika Pika solid silver pit for the Magpie pitcher can remain in the family. This hoard of treasure will pay for all the repairs you need.
That must be the Pika Pika treasure trove. Your uncle was always looking for it. God rest his soul. He always said it would turn up one day. It's been missing for generations.
Scotland Yard are on their way, my lord.
Well, all well that ends well. Thank you to everyone, especially you, Miss Christie. I shan't stop reading your novels now. And thank you to you, Mr. Fortune. I hope you do well in your new bank manager position. And by the way, what did happen to Mr. Dunn of Dundalk indeed?
Oh, the poor man got his bicycle wheel stuck on a tram line.
He went right off the rails.
Yup.
So what have you written about old Spectre then? I've put, he spied, was tried and nearly died, then he nicked the loot, tried to scoot, and now the brute has got the boot.
Look, me lord, the magpies are back and ready to nest in the torrents again. So listen to my sound advice and heed no man's warning. When you see a magpie now, salute and say good morning.